Hello, everyone. Welcome to English for You. I'm Adam.
And I'm Elsie.
So today, it looks like we are going to be reading about a type of technology. So speaking of technology, are you good at using any new technology, Elsie?
I think I'm okay at it, but things are being made so fast these days. It's hard to know how to do everything.
You're right. You're exactly right. I'm not the best at making...
Right, so I got the same question too. Are you good at using technology?
Am I good at using technology? I'm slow at using technology. I can find my way around it, you could say. But it does take me some time to get good at it. So you guys, today our reading article is titled The Magic of Epaper.
Epaper. So E stands for electronic, right?
That's right. So we could say like E like email.
Email. I see. Okay, so I think now it's time for us to look at our article.
Yeah, everyone, let's take a look at our article and find out more about ePaper.
Reading. The Magic of Epaper. You may have noticed that there are a lot more ePaper displays around these days. The idea of e-paper, sometimes called e-ink, has been around since the 1970s. However, it was not until the 1990s that it became a reality. How does it work? E-paper displays are made up of millions of tiny capsules. Each of these is filled with liquid and pigments, and the pigments carry an electrical charge. In most displays, the white pigment has a positive charge, and the black pigment has a negative one. These capsules are pressed into a thin layer to make a screen. When another electrical charge is applied to the display, some pigments are attracted to the top of the capsule, while others move to the bottom. This causes the display to appear black or white. E-paper displays with colored pigments work in a similar way. What are e-paper's advantages? For one thing, e-paper is very energy efficient. It's bistable, which means that the information on the display is retained without the need for additional power. Electricity is only used when the display changes. For another, e-paper can reflect natural light. It doesn't need any backlight, so it's easy on the eyes.
Okay, starting off, our article says, you may have noticed that there are a lot more e-paper displays around these days. So there we saw the phrase, these days. It means to refer to the present time or the recent past.
所以 these days 的意思是现在或是如今。像是呢，我们可以说 these days we rely heavily on social media to interact with others.
Wow, yeah, that's correct. It's been raining a lot these days as well.
这样的句子也是可以的，都可以代表的是最近发生的事情。那 display 呢，在这边当作名词使用哦，代表的是显示器。所以课文说到，你可能会注意到现在有很多的 e-paper 显示器。那我们刚刚有说到 e 的意思就是 electronic 电子化的，那 e-paper 中文会说电子纸。
All right, well, jumping back into our article, it continues to say, the idea of e-paper, sometimes called e-ink, has been around since the 1970s.
Okay, so you can say e-paper or e-ink.
That's correct,
Both
yes.
are okay. 所以1970年代呢，就有电子纸的构想出现。
Okay, well, let's find out more. Continuing with our article, it says, however, it was not until the 1990s that it became a reality.
那这个句子当中呢，有很重要的一个句型哦，是我们今天 Language in Focus 的重点。我们来看一下吧。 今天的 Language in Focus 我们要说到的是 not until 的句型。Not 点点点 until 点点点代表的是呢原本没有，或者是直到点点点某事才发生，用来指呢某件事直到某个时间点才出现。像是呢我们可以说 I had trouble sleeping last night. I couldn't fall asleep until 1 a.m. this morning. 代表我直到凌晨1点才睡着。那我们也可以搭配分列的句型哦，句型是 it 后面加上 be 动词，再加上 not until，加上时间，再加上 that， 还有一个主词以及一个动词来强调语气。所以呢，刚才的例句我们也可以说成It wasn't until 1 a.m. this morning that I finally fell asleep. 或者是呢，我们可以说 I didn't realize the soup was too hot until I burned my tongue. 直到我的舌头被烫到，我才发现那碗汤太烫。那用分列句可以用成It was not until I burned my tongue that I realized the soup was too hot. 那课文说到的是，直到1990年代，电子纸才真的出现。
Okay, so we also saw reality, which is a noun in that sentence. And reality is the state of something being real, or the condition of things as they actually exist. So, example sentence, we could kind of say, the reality of the world is not always fair. Or she tried to escape reality by watching movies all day.We also use the phrase become a reality. The phrase become a reality means that something has actually happened or has come into existence rather than just being a plan or idea. So the phrase is often used to describe a situation where something that was once just an idea has become real. An example would be,After years of planning, the new park has finally become a reality.
所以 reality 这个名词是现实或是真实。那你会发现前面有 real, real 就是真实的这个形容词。那我们要面对现实，接受事实，我们可以用 face reality 或者是 accept the reality. For example, you need to accept the reality that she doesn't love you anymore.你要接受他不再爱你的这个事实。那刚刚有提到的 become a reality 代表的是成为现实或是成真。So for example, we can ask, will time travel become a reality?
Oh, wow, that would be really cool if time travel could become a reality. We could go into the past or in the future.
时空旅行。And here we see a question in the article. How does it work? How does e-paper work?
Very good. So let's take a look, and continuing with the article, it says, E-paper displays are made up of millions of tiny capsules. So there we see the phrase, be made up of something. So that means to be composed or constructed from certain parts or components. For an easy example, you guys, we can say, the cake was made up of layers of chocolate and vanilla.
好，就是蛋糕是用这个巧克力还有香草一层一层做起来的。OK, be made up of something 由点点点组成，那是一个被动的用法哦。像是我们也可以说the audience was made up of young people， 代表观众是由年轻人所组成的。那再来我们还看到一个字是 capsule, what is it?
Yeah, capsule is a small container.That is used to hold medicine, powder, or other substances. So when you kind of go to the doctors, he might say, here is the medicine, and it's a pill, and you have to swallow it, and it comes in a little capsule.
OK, capsule 就是胶囊，所以电子纸显示器它是有数百万个 capsules 组成的。
That's right. All right, well, jumping back into our article again, it says,Each of these is filled with liquid and pigments, and the pigments carry an electrical charge. So there we say be verb filled with something. So it means to be contained or to contain a large amount of a certain substance, material, or object.
也就是充满的意思。那前面一样 be 动词出现 filled 加上 be filled with something。So for example, this restaurant is filled with people. 这间餐厅充满了人，也就是被人充满，所以你会发现它也是一个被动。还有像是 his eyes are filled with anger， 代表眼神充满愤怒。
That's right. And also in that sentence, we saw the word pigment. Now, it's not oink, oink, oink just because it has pig in it. Pigment is a substance used to color other material, like paint, ink, or makeup. It can be natural or it can be made of natural or synthetic, which is fake material.
OK, 那 pigment 指的是颜料或是色素。So here, each of these capsules is filled with liquid and pigments. 代表这里的每个胶囊呢都充满液体和颜料。那颜料里面有 electrical charge， 它代表的是电荷。那带有电荷的物质呢，在电磁场中会受到力的作用，而相斥或是相吸。
Yeah, electrical charge. If I go like this with my feet,and then maybe touch you, you might get a shock. It's an electrical charge. All right, so continuing everyone, our article then says, in most displays, the white pigment has a positive charge and the black pigment has a negative one.
所以呢，在这个大多的显示器当中啊，白色带有正电荷positive charge， 黑色带有负电荷 negative charge， 所以 positive 跟 negative 就可以来形容这个电荷是正还是负。
That's right. All right, and continuing on, it says, these capsules are pressed into a thin layer to make a screen. There we see the word layer. A layer is a sheet, quantity, or thickness of material that covers a surface or object.
也就是一层东西 a layer。 那这些胶囊呢，我们刚刚说到的 capsules， 它们被按压成一层薄薄的东西，然后做成萤幕。
That's right. And moving on, it says, when another electrical charge is applied to the display, some pigments are attracted to the top of the capsule, while others move to the bottom. So, this is a pretty interesting way of how this e-paper works, don't you think?
Right, and we have this word to take a look at, which is attract.
All right, let's take a look at attract. Okay, so let's look at the word attract. Attract is a verb. It means to draw something or someone towards oneself by exerting a force or influence. So, you guys, to simplify it, it is to make something come closer to you by force or influence. The phrase, be attracted to something. We could say, for an example, these small pieces of metal are attracted to the strong magnet. So they connect together when you guys play with magnets. So one more time, these small pieces of metal are attracted to the strong magnet.
Attract 这个动词呢，代表就是吸引某物靠近，当然吸引人也是可以的。那被动的用法呢是 be attracted to something， 受吸引靠近某物。所以我们课文说到啊，当另外的电荷被应用到显示器上，有一些颜料就会被吸引到胶囊的上部，那其他就会被吸引到下部去。
Okay, so continuing with our article, this causes the display to appear black or white. E-paper displays with colored pigments work in a similar way.
OK， 所以呢，这就是为什么我们会看到显示器上有黑有白，那其他颜色呢也是用这样的方式运作的。And then we see another question here. What are e-paper's advantages?
That's a good question. Let's keep reading and find out. The article says, for one thing, e-paper is very energy efficient.
Energy efficient 代表就是节能的，节约能源的。
That's right. And it continues by saying it's bistable, which means that the information on the display is retained without the need for additional power.
我们这边看到的这个字啊 bistable 它的意思是双稳态的，也就是有两个稳定的状态。那当我们看到字首有 by 出现的时候呢，后面通常会与形容词、名词跟副词搭配，那表示两个或是双，好，一双的双。那 stable 我们知道是稳定的，维持同样状态或性质的，所以 bistable 就是我们刚刚说到的双稳定的。那再来还有什么样的字呢？像是 bicycle。Yeah,
bicycle.
因为有两个轮子哈，所以我们说是 bicycle, bi 开头的。还有像是 bilingual,
yes.
双语的。那像双语学校是 bilingual school, 它会两个语言。So, why is this bistable?
Well, it says we saw in that sentence because it retains. So there's our word. We see the word retain. Retain is a verb. It is to keep control or possession of something.To hold on to or remember something. So, for an example, the students try to retain as much information from the teacher's class.
Oh, like trying to remember.
Remember, and this way it's for the electrical charge. It doesn't use so much energy, so it can hold on to that energy.
所以 retain 在这边代表的是保留或是留住。那我们刚刚就看到啦 the information can be retained without the need for additional power.
That's right, you hit it on the head. Okay, we see the word additional, which is an adjective. It's something extra or added to what already exists or is there. So an example could be,She ordered an extra or she ordered an additional bubble milk tea at the restaurant, which means she added one more bubble milk tea.
Additional 这个形容词呢，就是额外的或是附加的，那也可以用 extra 来表示。那我们刚刚讲到的 additional bubble milk tea 那就是再点一杯额外的珍奶。那 additional 还可以配什么呢？比如说 additional information。Extra information.
That's right.
就是多出来的额外的附加的资讯。那什么又是 additional costs?
Yeah, additional cost always with like phones, right?
就是多出来的花费。那电子纸呢，它不需要额外的电力就能够将资讯留在显示器上面。That's why we say it's energy efficient.
That's correct. You're right.So you answered your own question. High five. All right. So continuing on, everyone, our article then says, electricity is only used when the display changes. So there we see the word electricity, which is a noun, a form of energy that can be used to make things work, like lights, toys, and TVs. What we can use for an example sentence would be,My mom always tells me to turn off the lights when I leave my room. Otherwise, it's a waste of electricity.
A waste of electricity 那就是浪费电。好，所以呢 electricity 这个名词是电或电力，显示的内容改变的时候才需要使用到电力。我们在说的就是我们的电子纸。那产生电力发电的话，我们可以用 generate 这个字 generate electricity. 那有电我们要使用就会有电费，那就是 electricity bill. Okay, and there's another advantage, right?
That's right. All right. Continuing, we see that for another example or for another e-paper can reflect natural light. So that's another thing it can do. For another e-paper can reflect natural light. Wow, so it can bounce light off.
Right, so we have to take a look at this word, reflect.
All right. So there we see the word reflect. Reflect is a verb. It's to throw back light or other types of energy in a direction opposite to that in which it came. So an example sentence, the mirror reflects light to show an image, or the calm water of the lake reflected the trees and the sky.
Reflect 就是个动词啦，那代表的是反射，所以我们说到电子纸呢，还可以反射自然光。
Continuing on, it doesn't need any backlight, so it's easy on the eyes. There we see the phrase easy on the eye. It's pleasing to look at, attractive, and visually appealing.
Easy on the eye 代表的是看起来舒适的，所以呢 some colors are easy on the eyes 我们可以说有些颜色你眼睛看起来会觉得很舒服 while others are not 其他看起来就不太舒服 Okay, and then we saw this word backlight. What is it?
Backlight is a source of light located behind an object used to make it visible.
就是背光源那从电子设备侧边或是背后照射的光源所以电子纸是不需要这个的 E-paper doesn't need backlight.
That's right. So everyone, it looks like e-paper is the way of the future.
That's right. And we'll learn more about e-paper tomorrow. But for now, we have to go to our For You chat.
For You chat.
Okay, so for our For You chat, the question is, would you prefer to read a book with real paper or e-paper? Explain your answer. And what do you think?
You know, I don't read that much. So if I really had to choose, I would say I would prefer maybe to read with real paper.
Real paper, okay. A lot of
Yes.
traditionalists.
I know you prefer to read with real paper, right?
It depends, right? If I'm on the go, I could take my tablet and kind of read on the e-paper.
It's convenient.
Or if I'm at home, I could read a real book.
And when you read comic books?
Yeah, I'll read on the e-paper because I have an app for it, I guess.
So it depends on what you are reading.
So everyone, ask your classmates and see what they would prefer and why.
So for now, we have to say goodbye.
Okay.
This is Elsie.
And I'm Adam.
See you soon. Bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Reality. Thanks to my family's help, I can turn my dream of opening my own coffee shop into a reality. Attract. This is a powerful magnet, so metal is attracted to it. Retain. People wear extra clothes in the winter to help their bodies retain heat. Additional. Jane gets private lessons every week for additional help with math. Electricity. It seems that our electricity has been cut off because the lights don't work in any room. Reflect. Light colors such as white reflect heat, but dark colors like black do not.
智慧小补帖
Capsule. Pigment. Layer. Backlight.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net